Hi world, welcome to Brian A. School of Law, which is a unique and fast online law school that seeks to be your go-to place for all your legal knowledge and needs, irrespective of the jurisdiction you are in. My name is Brian Awonda. I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya and a member of the Law Society of Kenya. I am also a member of the Young African Leaders Initiative Network, YALI, a product of the US government, and I am proud today to be launching this law school, which will satisfy all your needs and all the questions you've been having regarding the law in your various jurisdictions. Just for a brief introduction, I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, as already stated, and I am the founding partner of Brian and Brian A. Advocates, which is a lead legal practice in the global fight against climate change. Brian and Brian A. Advocates also is a lead legal practice in service to humanity and Mother Earth, and shortly I will explain why. I am also the founding director of the Awonda Foundation, and I am also the founding director of Advocates in the Body of Christ International. Now, just to say something small about Brian and Brian A. Advocates and what makes it unique is that Brian and Brian A. Advocates incorporates a fully fledged corporate social responsibility entity within it that spearheads and runs the firm's social impact programs. And this corporate social responsibility entity I'm talking about is the Awonda Foundation. I started the Awonda Foundation to spearhead various programs through the legal practice that Brian and Brian A. Advocates is. Among these social impact programs include children empowerment, through teaching them their universal rights and duties in accordance with the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. To do this, I came up with a unique curriculum, a FAST as well, that teaches children their universal rights and duties. I add duties because the trite concept that I'm teaching children here is where there is a right, there is a duty. For instance, to the child's right to a clean and safe environment, the child has the duty to grow trees and to avoid litter in the environment. To a child's right to education, the child has the duty to ensure he or she works hard in school, respects the teachers, and takes care of school property as well as personal property. So for this, I have created at least 3 duties for all the 42 rights of the child, broken down the curriculum in 10 chapters, and I go with the curriculum to primary schools, high schools, grade schools, junior schools, middle schools, to children's homes and rescue centers, to the streets where you find the street children, to religious institutions being the mosques and the churches and the temples, you name it, basically anywhere I can find children. And what I do is I strive to create children teachers, in that I train children to be teachers of themselves, of the curriculum. So I go to a place, I identify 2 or 3 of the sharpest students, I teach them how to use this curriculum, and I teach them on how to teach other children. I also teach adults, also teach teachers, I also teach parents, I also teach church leaders, and everyone who has responsibility over children on this curriculum, so that they can be on the same page and understand the rights and duties of the child, all aimed with children empowerment. Another social impact program that Brian Briane has that is run through the Awonda Foundation is environmental conservation activities. Here is through civic education, where I sensitize children and the public at large on the importance of growing trees in the fight against climate change. And we use children, or rather we work with children and adults and professionals, religious leaders again, government officials and all that. And we come up and we go to tree planting sites, and we plant trees together, and we ensure these trees grow and are nurtured for a good environment. All this again is done through Brian and Brian Advocates. Remember, we are a unique legal practice at the global front in the fight against climate change. Brian and Brian Advocates also seeks to create light working advocates. Right-wing advocates in the sense that we do not wait for people with legal needs to come to us. Rather, we go and we take the legal services to these less fortunate people. For instance, we have a program called the Market Lawyers. In Swahili, it's called Wakili Sokoni, where I camp alongside some law students whom I'm mentoring, and when we position ourselves in various areas in the market, and we teach, rather we offer legal services to every Tom, Dick, and Harry who needs these services. We also have the street lawyers. In Swahili, we call it Wakili Mtaani. This is interesting because I used to be called street lawyer by some friends when I was still in law school. They said, this name is unique. So I will use this to come up with a program where we camp in various areas in the streets, be it in towns or be it in the suburbs or wherever, and we offer legal service and advice to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. We also have the neighborhood lawyers, in Swahili called Wakili Mtaani, Wakili Mashinani, or something of the sort, where we come to the less fortunate suburbs, the slum areas and such like places. And again, we offer legal services and advice to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. And this we do pro bono as a social impact. Pro bono is free for those who do not know this, as a social impact program for the farm where we give back to the society. Another area is we also host environmental conservation activities for the less fortunate persons. Or rather, sorry, for the persons with different disabilities. We help them to grow trees. We help them to include them and integrate them in society so that they can feel one and include them. For they also have the same rights that we do, and their duty is to fit in and be happy. So we take them to fit in, we take them to be happy, and we plant trees with them so that we can help them reduce their carbon footprint. We also empower the vulnerable and minority groups, including the elderly, the widows, the orphans. We offer legal services to them. We help the elderly get their pensions. We fight for them in succession matters. And you name it, we are there as the Wonder Foundation, as a CSR department of Brian & Brian Advocates, to help these people in the society to become better citizens and to enjoy the rights that are inherent in the Constitution and that are rightfully theirs. We also advocate for peace and love among religions, because we believe that peace and love among religions, by extension, will lead to world peace. So in Brian & Brian Advocates, we work together with Muslims, we work together with Christians and Hindus. We are a universal legal practice, for we believe love is our religion and philanthropy is the cure for vanity. Also now, in the business aspect of Brian & Brian Advocates, aside from doing all the other standard legal work like conveyancing, court litigation, corporate commercial law, intellectual property rights, we also deal in the carbon market through trade of carbon credits. The fight against climate change has gone global, has always been global anyway. And to do this, the UN Convention, rather the Paris Agreement and the Kyoto Protocol, which were arrived at in 2015 in Paris, requires all countries, including African countries, to reduce their carbon emissions to the assigned amount units, AAUs. And for those countries like the Western countries, the developed countries that are heavily industrialized, like the United States, what we do is we help these countries to pollute above their assigned amount units. And how do we do this? Through trading the carbon market. So there is a concept called carbon credits. A carbon credit is a certificate that permits a polluter to pollute beyond the required cap. So if an industrial country, or rather if a factory wants to expand its operations, it will mean that it needs to pollute more. So African countries are less industrialized. And therefore, as African countries, we hardly pollute beyond the cap that has been set for us under the Kyoto Protocol. So what we do is in each and every carbon reduction project that we have in Africa, be it tree planting, be it tree plantations rather, be it clean energy, solar panels, clean drinking water in the rural households, you name all this. Any project that absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. What we do is we register these projects with the designated national authority in that respective African country. For example, if it is in Kenya, the National Environmental Management Authority is the designated national authority to register these carbon reduction projects. And then once they register these projects, they issue carbon credits. A carbon credit is a certificate, as I've said, that allows a polluter to pollute beyond the required cap. So one carbon credit, rather one certificate, allows a polluter to pollute 1 metric ton of carbon dioxide above the cap. So, for instance, just a brief example, if you have an acre of trees that has been well planted by our specialists, this acre of trees will have at least 1,000, this acre of land will have at least 1,000 forests. So it will have at least 1,000 trees. So these 1,000 trees, in the calculation of carbon dioxide reduction from the atmosphere, the 1,000 trees will be able to sequestrate 24 tons of carbon dioxide, which means you will have roughly 24 carbon credits from 1 acre of trees. And the market price for carbon credits, according to the Environmental Protection Agency of the United States, is roughly $200. $200 can be 20,000 Kenya shillings. So imagine if you have 24 carbon credits from 1 acre of trees times 20,000 Kenya shillings. Do the math. You'd rather have trees than cutting them. So as Brian and Brian advocates, we help clients with these projects. We help countries with these projects to get the carbon credits and to trade them in the carbon market. More of this I shall talk about in subsequent videos as we explain what carbon credits is all about and how it works. And also another facet of Brian advocates is social impact bonds. Social impact bonds are multi-stakeholder partnership agreements between the government, the intermediary, rather the middleman, and the private investors. Maybe to break it down for you is you will find that public resources or government funding is not always readily available to leverage or to support projects. For example, tree planting, for example. Let me use tree planting because that is where we are more into and we are more conversant with as other areas as well. So if a government does not have money to fund certain key projects, what we do as Brian and Brian advocates, we approach these governments and we tell government A that tree planting in your country should be increased to 10% and it's a priority in your policies. But we see you're not doing it, majorly because, as you have stated, you don't have the finances or the budget then to do it. So kindly please, as Brian and Brian advocates, give us that contract, give us that bond to do this project for you. And once the project is complete within the stipulated time frame, can be 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. Once this project is completed, then you will redeem the bond that you gave us, in that you will give us back the money that we used to do this project. And upon crafting a nice agreement with the government and upon the government giving us these projects, Brian and Brian advocates approaches an investor. We have three types of investors whom we approach. We have the high net worth individuals. That is one. These are individuals with a lot of money to spend on social causes. And then we have the philanthropic investors. These are foundations. For example, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. We can approach them and tell them, we have this contract from the government, we need to do this project is viable in this way, we need the funding, and upon completion, this is the agreement with the government will return or redeem this bond. And then once the bond is redeemed, we return the money back to the investor. And we also have socially agnostic investors. These are investors who don't really care about social change, but they have a lot of money. For instance, the pension funds, the sovereign wealth funds, the insurance, all these guys, the insurers, all these guys have a lot of money. So we leverage them with the social impact bonds, we entice them with these bonds from the government, and they give us this money and we do these projects. The good thing with these projects is that it shifts financial risk away from the government, so the government is free to invest in these projects, in that if this project fails, the government will not redeem the bond. And the beauty of this project is that if the government does not redeem the bond, the investor will not be given back the money. Not the beauty, the downside. But the beauty of it is that when it works, the private investor's money is redeemed by the government, and the investor has a name in social change, and the investor has a name in social change and social impact. You get my point? This is what I'm trying to say. It's a new concept, so I want to take you slowly with it. So this is what I'm trying to say. Private money comes to do a public project, and upon completion, public money returns the private money. So Brian Advocates is the middleman, we are the intermediary. So if it is tree planting, the government gives us the contract to plant trees in a certain area. And then once we complete planting those trees and growing those trees within the contract period, money which we used from the investor, the government redeems these bonds and return the money back to the investor. So it's a win-win-win for everyone. Brian gets money to do his social impact programs. The government gets the money to do its projects at low taxpayer costs. And the investor is guaranteed capital returns, investment returns, as well as a name in social change. So when we combine carbon credits and social impact bonds into one thing, you find Brian and Brian A Advocates. Now, that is in short what Brian and Brian A Advocates does in the fight against climate change and in service to humanity in Mother Earth. Social impact bonds can go to recidivism, which is a program where offenders come from jail. They tend to go back within 6 years. So we get these offenders, we get them into our social impact programs as we integrate them into the society. This one also works with nurses to moms program, where we get nurses and we take them to the slum areas where the women there have given birth, but they do not have facilities, they don't have finances, they don't have knowledge of taking care of their children. We take them there, and these women, without doubt, are helped by these nurses to raise their children, to bring up their children. They're given medicine and all the care and protection that they need. This aims to reduce infant mortality. We also have a lot of other social impact programs where we also advocate against deforestation, and we advocate against drunk driving to reduce youth mortality, as there are those who are dying at a very high rate. We also work to increase affordable housing, where we are working with a group of architects who call themselves the Green Architects. We are working with these architects to find a way and solutions where sustainable programs, sustainable projects, housing projects can be arrived at through older trees which are past 60 years plus. And a program where we call it the Green Architects. This program is interesting because We try to increase the shelf life of the carbon stored in the trees. Instead of just cutting down the trees and letting them decompose, we can use these trees to build skyscrapers and commercial buildings through laminated timber. This again, we shall talk about more as this program unfolds. Whew, that's Brian Advocates. I also said I'm the founding director of Advocates in the Body of Christ. What is Advocates in the Body of Christ? Advocates in the Body of Christ is an international non-governmental organization. This organization seeks to bring spirituality into the legal fraternity, the legal world, into the business world, and to the governments. In that we believe that spirituality is the key to service, to servant leadership. So if these three areas I've mentioned, the legal fraternity, the business world, and the government, are guided by strong principles of spirituality, service to humanity will be their core aim, and the world will be a better place to be. Now, Advocates in the Body of Christ seeks to bring together advocates from all over the world in different jurisdictions who are passionate in service to humanity and Mother Earth. And these advocates serve their respective jurisdictions, serve the human beings, the humanity, the individuals, the people, the groups, vulnerable groups, the children, the women, the elderly, the widows, the girl child, the boy child, all these people who need legal services and needs. We seek to bring advocates who will serve them. Advocates in the Body of Christ has nothing to do with teaching religion. No, it is strictly spiritual service. And this is why we come to you. And I appeal to advocates out there who have a heart and a passion to serve humanity, to reach out to us through the various platforms that we shall give to help in this. Now, Advocates in the Body of Christ, again, as I have said, is a first. And we have our footprint right now in Kenya and Rwanda. And we are shortly we shall be going to Tanzania and Uganda, East African countries first. Now, coming back to Brian A. School of Law. Why did I start this School of Law? It is because it is a unique school of law and there is a hunger for the law outside there. There's also a misconception about lawyers, and there's also deceit that is going around people with legal needs. They're not told what they really need to do and what they really need to understand in the law. Everywhere I go, when people see I'm a lawyer, they have a lot of questions and everything. So everyone everywhere has legal needs, and the law is everyone and everything. So Brian A. School of Law will teach the law as it is, various topics of the law. We also have private classes, which we shall give through various links in this YouTube channel. And we also receive complaints that you need clarification at. We also offer legal services, all legal services regardless. We also teach law students. We prepare them for legal practice. We teach laws in the East African community and beyond, business law, taxation law, constitutional law, human rights law, the laws on climate change. We do all this. We are an all-round legal practice. And I thank you so much for being part of this. Subscribe to this page, hit the notification button, click the subscribe button down there, and please, please, let us walk in this journey together. I would like to empower you. I would like to share my knowledge with you. And I would like you to be well-informed citizens, regardless of jurisdiction. If you're in the US and you feel there's an area of law that you need us to cover, send us an email. We shall provide our email shortly. Send us a comment in the comments box below, and we shall review that area of law. We shall create a video there, and we shall teach it. If you want to join our online classes, again, we shall provide our email address. You can find it in our page as well. We shall provide links and other various platforms, phone numbers, and everything that you can use to reach out to us. We want to share knowledge with you. We want to empower you. We want you to be informed when you go to court. We want you to be informed when you do business. We want you to be informed when you travel from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. We want you to be informed of new emerging laws. We want you to be encouraged that indeed you must not go to law school to understand these things. But these things are freely given unto us, and to whom much is given, much is expected. I've been given a lot of knowledge in the law, and I'm expected to share it with you, and I want to share it with you very much. I thank you all. I thank you all for sitting up through this introductory video. There's much we shall discuss, much we shall talk about, and much we shall do together. And I hope to see you. Again, remember, like this video, subscribe to this page, share this page, share this video, share this YouTube channel. Let us grow to tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of subscribers so that we can reach the world and empower the world. If you have any legal need, any legal thing that you need, anything that you need advice on, anything that you need us to help you with as pertains the law, Gun & Granny Advocates is here to help you. It is indeed your lead area for all legal knowledge, irrespective of jurisdiction. Thank you once again, and thank you. Stay safe, sanitize, wash hands, maintain social distance, and have a good time in this post-COVID-19 building back better recovery period. Thank you so much, and God bless you. There you go.